Today I want to show you 3 different KPIs that you should be thinking about when making your next hire to work out if you can afford it and what other businesses or what your competitors might be doing. Let's dive into it. So, I'm laser focused on getting businesses from a few $100,000 a year up to 5 million and beyond. So I want to talk about a digital agency today that's doing exactly that and the things that they look at to work out if they can afford that next hire. Let me show you them. The first is making sure we have an understanding of what our ideal headcount would be at this revenue level and seeing how far we're off from that. And I'll explain how we calculate that shortly. The next one is revenue per full-time employee, which is this graph here on the right. That's working out your overall headcount or full-time employees for the business, comparing that to your revenue on an annualized basis and working out what you're doing. And a really clear benchmark for Australian-based agencies is about 200K a year. Anything above that is a really good range. And you can see this agency as it grows is struggling to get there. And then into the future, we finally get there as the business becomes more profitable. So that's a really good one to know because you can benchmark yourself against your competitors. And then the final one, and salary multiplier, is used in a range of situations, but this is commonly used also to show to your team members how they're doing. You might calculate this on like a department basis and show them, hey, we don't have enough clients for the headcounts in this department and we need to kind of get more productive. So let me show you how the sausage is made with these 3 things so you can apply them in your business. So revenue per full-time employee, it's a really common one used, especially for my agency clients. All you do is take your total revenue, whatever that is, and this is a forecast looking into the future for future revenue. We have a look at what our existing headcount is right now, and then all we're doing is to calculate this is taking our revenue times 12 and dividing it by our overall headcount. The times by 12 is just to annualize it, and it's to give us a kind of easy way to compare apples with apples across the months. The goal is above 200K, and then you can work out if you're on or off that. So that's a really simple one, and that's your revenue per full-time employee here that we're calculating. The next one I want to talk about is your goal headcount. This is a really interesting one because your goal headcount actually is set depending on what your billable rate is that you're charging out your team services, what your utilization is for that team, and the average weeks in the month and the hours per week are all Australian-based numbers, and those ones don't change. But you can see really interestingly, if I just go out here a little bit, if you look at goal headcount versus actual, if we want our billable rate, we expect our team to be hitting our billable rate targets of $150 an hour. If we just add that in, you can see our goal has dropped and our actual headcount's above. So we need to be having less people to do more work. It's an inverse relationship. So that's a really good one to play around with. If you expect the team to be more utilized, 80%, you can see that gap further widens. It means we've got too many people for where we should be, assuming that the team are productive enough. So you can play around with different utilization rates and different charge out rates to work out where your headcount should be, which is really important when mapping out what your future hires will be, when you can hire them. It gives you a really critical tool to benchmark that. And then the last one is really simple, salary multiplier. And I'll just explain that one again quickly. If your goal is like a 3.2 multiplier for that team, they need to be billing out 320 grand to earn 100 grand wage. So it's kind of a markup on their wage, but it's really simple one that you can tell the team that they can understand and you can like hold them against and benchmark and decide on paid wage rises if they're hitting that or not. And that is a really simple one where the goal is 3, the current salary multiplier is 2, and the way to get that is just taking our total wages divided by our total revenue, and you can see over time, as we get more productive, that multiplier increases and gets closer to our target. There's a bit of nuance in the multiplier. So I put the goal at 3, but that goal could potentially be 3.2, 3.5. For some clients, I set that at 4 because we have a huge overhead that we need to cover. So it does depend on the business. All right, I'll leave it there. Those are 3 critical KPIs that you should be thinking about when planning what your headcount is right now and what it should be into the future to make sure that you're on track. Thanks for watching.